think mentorship is the biggest thing for success, is finding those people. I don't know if Kevin or Jeff said it, or maybe they both said it, was finding somebody that's already achieved what you want to achieve and learning from them. And so the 7 biggest lessons I learned from my mentors. And my question is, who was your first mentor? Think about it. Was it your mom? Was it your dad? Was it the guy next door? Was it somebody you met in college? Who was your first mentor? And what did you learn from your mentor? Think about that. Who was your first mentor? And so this was my first mentor, Randy Adams, my father. And that's us in front of the ice truck. I look at September 18th, 2011. Wow, a decade ago. I sold ice for a living. And so my father and I delivered packaged ice. We were a wholesale distributor of Arctic Glacier ice. We drove to convenience stores, bars, restaurants. We put bagged ice into coolers, and we sold them the product. The wholesale, they sold at retail. And so that was a big part of my life. At one point, I thought I wanted to sell ice for the rest of my life and be the biggest in the ice business. And I got a little smarter and realized I want to use my brain and not my back. But I'll tell you, what I learned from my father in the ice business is many different things. I mean, I got to see him grow a business, got to see him go through the obstacles. But, you know, we talked about 4th of July week. 4th of July week was the busiest week of the year. 4th of July week, we would do, 140 tons of ice that we sold. And that was a week we called game week. Just like I said, going into here with the event, it's game week. It's Super Bowl week. It's the busiest week of the year. It could make you or break you for the winter. So when we had hot summers, we would be going nonstop, probably working more than legally should because you're driving a truck. I was driving, picture me driving a big straight truck and delivering ice, delivery guy. And so that's what I did. But what I learned from my father is customer service and going above and beyond for your customers. We never wanted our clientele to run out of ice because if they ran out of ice, that means they would lose out on sales. So we told people, hey, we may cost the most, but we'll make sure you'll never run out of ice, and we'll make sure that you get the best damn service. So that's what I learned from my father early on, and now I apply that in my masterminds, my advisory deals, clients I work with. I go above and beyond. I create a great experience. I teach them everything I know, and I want to help in any way I can. So my lessons early on from my father in the ice business still pertain to today. My next mentor, Cactus Jack Behringer. I met him at Iowa State University. He was speaking. I actually went to the class because I was failing speech class, funny enough. I was failing speech class. Think about that. I was failing speech class, so I had to go to a speech to get extra credit, and now I'm speaking to you. And so I went to that extra credit class and heard him speak, and he led me to the book Think and Grow Rich. It completely changed my life. And Jack had this little saying that I always had stuck in my head. He talked about you become what you think about most of the time. You become what you think about most of the time. He said that to me one day when I was at his place. I didn't understand it right away, but then I did when I realized my thoughts determine where I'm going to go. If I'm thinking about going out and partying, that's not going to really get me to where I want to go. But if I thought about my goals, I thought about where I wanted to be, who I wanted to surround myself, I would get there. Jack was known for marketing. He has a cowboy suit here. I love this photo because he led me to the book Think and Grow Rich back when I was 21 years old. 6 years later, I became one of the producers and featured in the movie Think and Grow Rich: A Legacy, which is based on the book. And we got to share the red carpet together. It was a cool experience. And Cactus Jack was known for his marketing, wearing Cactus Jack. He wore the cowboy suit and everything else. That was his shtick. Like literally, he's a cowboy. He sold products and commercials. Kevin actually made a deal with him on Shark Tank. That's when I first saw the reel with Kevin. And so I partnered with Cactus Jack. But one thing I learned from Cactus Jack is this. And Tim Miller, you're going to like this. You in here, Tim Miller? It's not done until it's overdone. It's not done until it's overdone. And what does that mean? Do one more email, one more reach out, one more marketing boost, one more thing. It's not done until it's overdone. You have to go above and beyond. And some of you may think, hey, I gave it all I got. I did all the marketing. I did all these things. But no, you got to do more. That's what I learned from him. He always said 90% marketing, 10% product. I'm about 100% marketing, 100% product, going above and beyond. Think about that in your life. When you're getting through your day, and let's say it gets to be 10 p.m., and you know you got to do something, but you're tired, the thought in your mind is, it's not done until it's overdone, because somebody else out there is working. So I learned that from my mentor. And then Greg Roulette, who spoke today. Let's give a round of applause for Greg Roulette. Happy birthday to Greg Roulette. So I'm very grateful for Greg Roulette, because Greg Roulette is the one who got me into TV. He spoke at my event in Iowa, and he said, hey, why don't you come down to Florida, film a masterclass with me? We did a masterclass together. He said, hey, help me raise some money. I'll make you a part of my TV show. Sure, I'll take that ride. Help raise some money. We did the TV show. And we did at a high level. I mean, we produced a reality TV show that I didn't even know what an Emmy Award was. Got an Emmy nomination. We traveled the country. We got to feature Lewis Howes, Jack Canfield, all kinds of people. And so we filmed a show, got to deal with the Entrepreneur Network, and Facebook Watch when it came out. But here's what I learned from Greg Roulette. And by the way, I flew all the way to Florida. Sam and I moved to Florida. I want to be in proximity with Greg because I knew I would learn more about video production and video. And so what I learned from Greg, the power of video marketing, have your own TV show. When you create your own TV show, it's probably one of the hardest things I've done. But when you can create your own kind of show, could be a podcast show, TV show, it is this influence level that is unlike anything else. It is very powerful. And so once I learned that, I went all in. I started creating more shows. I kind of got really obsessed with the video marketing, so much so, as my wife had shared before, I put all my money into it. But I saw the power of what it did, the power of video marketing. What I learned from Greg is how to communicate in front of the camera, how to create video content at a high level, and really understand the value of video could do. Because his partners in them, they created some of the greatest documentaries of our time. And I saw really the power of storytelling through that. And Greg led me to Sean Vella, who's in this room, and everybody else I work with today. Next mentor is Kevin Harrington, who spoke before. Kevin's going to be speaking in a bit. This is a picture. Kevin and I, it's funny. I got the opportunity to get in a car ride with Kevin, and we talked about a partnership together doing this book. We launched a book called Put a Shark in Your Tank, and this was the night after we filmed the commercial for Put a Shark in Your Tank. And that's back when I didn't wear the black t-shirt every day. But I met Kevin, and we ended up doing different partnerships together, from doing a book launch to I was a small part of doing a mastermind that led to a $100 million product, to advising companies and doing all kinds of different things. But I'll tell you what I learned from Kevin that I live by this shit. And it is the power of a dream team and a fair deal. So when Kevin launched infomercials and launched different products, he always had a dream team. He had the talent, he had the camera crew, he had the people that brought the deals, he had people that orchestrated. He didn't do it himself. He had great people around him. He had really his own mastermind. And so what I learned is you got to be surrounded by the right people and deals. And I want to be a part of deals, and let's all share in the wealth. But then we all are incentivized to grow that deal. So that's one thing I learned. And then the fair deal. It's got to be a fair deal. If you're doing a deal where like, I got them, I got the best of the deal, that person is going to feel that in the long run, and that's not going to be a long-term business relationship. If you have a fair deal, you both are happy, and then you're going to make more money in the future. So think about for yourself, what are the fair deals? Make fair deals. Because if you try to get greedy, long-term, it will not work. It just won't work. So you got to have a fair deal. Next thing I learned was from my mentor, business partner, and friend, James Whittaker. He was here this morning. Amazing guy. That was us on the red carpet at Think and Go Rich movie. It was a cool picture with Barbara Corcoran. She was character, so much fun. But James Whittaker, met him through the Think and Go Rich Legacy project. We're both producers of the movie, did the book Think and Go Rich Legacy. James has been a part of our masterminds. He's flew over the country for me. I'd do anything for that guy. But I'll tell you what James taught me. Win the day every day. You win the day every day. When you get up and you make that choice to whether wake up early, go for a run, go to the gym, make those phone calls, knock on those doors, be committed to your success, make that money, go do that rep, put on that event, invest in yourself, whatever it is, win the day every day. And when you win the day every day, the compound effect will kick in. Eventually, those wins will result in a big win and big so-called overnight successes. So how can you win the day every day? Next one, Jeff Hoffman, another friend, business partner, and mentor. And this is us. This is cool. We were at Global Field Day. This was in Denver, the Broncos Stadium. and we raised some money for charity, one of the charities we're part of, and Jeff started his World Youth Horizons, and we actually, fun fact, we broke Rob Gronkowski's world record for the highest catch caught from a helicopter. So we did that day. That's where we're at. But long story short, with Jeff, what I learned is we met. It was sitting around a circle in Kansas City. I'll never forget this. I've told this story many times. We're sitting around a circle, and Jeff and I and other people are supposed to be mentors. And I hadn't met Jeff yet, but all the mentors and everybody surrounded themselves by Jeff. And all of a sudden, it went from 5 people in a circle to 20 to 50 to probably 70 people in a circle, and Jeff was sharing stories. He was sharing things he did with Priceline and all these different companies. But the moment like that happened, I learned something from Jeff. The power of how he communicated. So when people asked a question, he didn't give an answer. He gave the answer with a story. He uses storytelling, yes, in his speeches, but in business. When he even answers a question when we're working as a team, he tells a story. Everything he does is story, story, story. And so what I learned from Jeff is the power of storytelling. I've studied Jeff's talks prior to me giving talks because I wanted to see how he did it so well, how he communicated that message, and how he told a story so flawlessly where people are drawn into the story. They could see it, they could feel it, they could be a part of it. And so I learned the power of storytelling from Jeff Hoffman. And the next one, the most important one, is my wife, Samanthaosine. This girl has been we went through a lot together, as you guys heard earlier, and she's been my life coach, I would say, really. She's been a mentor. She's been somebody I go to for business decisions. This is us, by the way, in front of the Vinoy. We took this earlier this year. And she's just been a great, business partner and everything to me. But I'll tell you what I've learned about her is, and how I look at life. And I don't know if she knows how to say this, but only do things that align with you and your goals and happiness, and choose you first. Sometimes Sam has to say to me, does that align with your goals? Does that align with what we want to do? And I need to hear that because it doesn't always align. So I think for you guys, with what you choose to do in life, with who you choose to be around, does it align with your goals? Their energy, does it align with who you are? And don't just do things to make people happy. Do things that make you truly happy. What really makes you happy. Don't do it because somebody else says to do it. You got to choose you first. Choose you first. Who's going to choose them first? Who's going to choose you first? Yes, raise your hand. I love it. Okay. I've learned so much. And another thing I've learned from her is I always instill confidence in people and show them their worth. There's been times I've been questioning myself where she says, you're worth what you asked for. You are worth it. And I need to hear that. So she's been that person for me to show my worth and confidence as I grow in business, grow the company that I have, and everything that I do. So the power of a mastermind group. All these people have been influences in my life. I love it. By the way, the picture of my father is like, my dad doesn't do photo shoots. We got like 2 pictures together. I'm like, Rachel, do your magic. And she did. But when you can get people that are very influential in your circle, that will determine your success. There's a old saying, you guys all know this, is you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. These are my mentors. These are my business partners. These are my family. These are my loved ones. These are the people I surround myself with on a regular basis. You've heard from them. They've made an impact in my life.